Hey, if you see the new John episode, then you know why I'm making this damn video here. Why on earth is Sanjay and Craig the worst Nicktoon ever? Okay, I'm sorry, maybe I shouldn't be screaming that out loud, but let me make this perfectly clear here. Why is Sanjay and Craig the worst Nicktoon I have ever seen? Yes, I've seen so many bad Nicktoons. Yes, I've seen them. But why? Why is Sanjay and Craig the worst freaking Nicktoon I've ever seen in my life? Oh, okay, let's just calm down. After all, it's mostly just a gross out cartoon. I mean, when have I never seen that before? Except, well, I don't know, every single freaking show that I either watched or never watched in my life because I never want to look at it because I have an anxiety problem. Do anybody in the network, does a director, does a writer, does anybody who made this crap literally know that there are people who have anxieties? I mean, the 90s I could kind of forgive, but here, when we know autism is a very crazy disability with anxiety problems, there are people without autism that have anxiety problems. Okay, look, I'm getting off topic here, but I'm just gonna say this right here. Sanjay and Craig is fucking terrible. It is the plague of Nickelodeon. I thought Fanboy Chum Chum was the plague. I thought the season 6 through 7 SpongeBob was the plagues. Breadwinners, like, no. This is the plague upon my existence. And I gotta talk about it. Because literally, if I don't talk about it, people are just gonna continue watching those 2 seasons and say, let's bring it back. Don't. Let's talk about it, shall we? Because, like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I do have another person. He looks like me. He sounds like me. He calls himself the Toxic Nerfer. He's gave me this Scout Mark II. So, I'm keeping you all hostage. Make this point clear. Now, let's continue, shall we? Sanjay and Craig has a similar art style compared to a show I think I heard called Bob's Burgers. I never watched Bob's Burgers, but I have seen the art style of Bob's Burgers. Most people find that a problem, that it's kind of similar to Bob's Burgers. It's the same with King of the Hill's art style with The Good Family. And I never watched either of those. I mean, one I would love to watch, which is King of the Hill. But I would never watch The Good Family, because anything to do with the political side of things would just literally drive me crazy. Not through my migraines, but mainly just because I do not like talking about the political side. And we should never talk about a political side, especially when we're at a pandemic. But I digress here. Sanjay and Craig has a very simple concept. There's actually a snake named Craig, and there's a boy named Sanjay. They're basically best friends. It's like the Scooby-Doo Shaggy thing, you know, the Badooz and the Sway Sway, the Fanboy and Chum Chum. It's 2 stupid idiots, pretty much. More or less, it's just annoyance and gross out, pretty much. I never seen the most disgusting shit ever, especially when you see these characters take a piss in the bed. Like wetting the bed. Like, when we've ever seen that before? Oh yeah, I remember, and Mysterious Mr. Intern talking about that in Powerpuff Girls, like the seasonal rot era. They were talking about like who was wetting the bed, you know? I'd rather still look at the Splinter because it's less vomit-inducing. It's just cringy. But literally, no joke, Sanjay and Craig wanted me to barf non-stop. And I don't know why it lasted 2 seasons. Breadwinners is not disgusting. It's just annoying. Fanboy Chum Chum, it could be gross with its CG, but it's not really made for that gross out. It's just made to be, again, annoying. Sanjay and Craig is annoying and disgusting. Annoyance I cannot stand, because first of all, it makes all of us like stupid, idiotic buffoons, and I will not tolerate that. And gross out alone should not even be the main focus of comedy itself. Because here's the thing, gross out is not funny. It never will be. It never will be. I don't know how that trend is still here since the fucking 90s, since fucking Ren and Stimpy did it, since fucking John Craig Valuski, that stupid pedophilic mother... Ever since gross out came in to the 90s, it lasted through the ages compared to just like, celebrity-based shows, which mostly exist as parody and little kid shows. And then you got Scooby-Doo ripoffs, which are just dead at this point. which I've never seen no Scooby-Doo ripoffs. I've only seen Scooby-Doo, period. And yet this is the trend I look at. It's fucking disgusting to look at. I've watched only one episode of Sanjay and Craig, and I said, you know what? This show is not for me. It is never gonna be for me. It never will be for me, because it will never will be for me. Sanjay and Craig is one of the plagues of my existence here. As a person who at least is just trying to find a good cartoon, especially when he's about to like get into his teen years. Right now, I grew out of cartoons a very long time ago, but there are times I will go back to them and say, this was good, but I will never go back to the worst parts, which is Sanjay and Craig. Remember I used to say Craig with that voice that I just did? I can't do it anymore, because I'm so angry. I watched Mysterious Mr. Entrance review on Unbarfable, which is the worst fucking episode I have ever seen of Sanjay and Craig, and I am so giddy because I'm so fucking angry. I really want to hurt someone. And I mean, really want to hurt someone. And I mean someone who worked on this show and said, this was good. Sure, put it on. Kids love Gross Out, you know? When I ever heard Gross Out, I mainly would just listen to the fart noises or the burping sounds. At least those are tolerable. But literally showing me Sanjay and Craig literally puking on each other's faces, and even Craig puking out rats out of his mouth. How the hell did he even get rats? I have no idea. He rips his skin, his skin off. I don't even know what you would call a snake's skin, but I don't really fucking care at this point. Oh, you've been warned. And then we find that one of their guys, I'm just going to call him Mr. Eye Patch, or I'm just going to call him Patchy when he was young, basically says that he doesn't barf. And pretty much it made it to their possible duty in the entire world today to make this man barf. You're joking, right? No. This is a joke, right? This is a complete and utter joke. No, it isn't a joke, because they do every single thing possible. I can't even describe the gross outs right now, because I literally think you should watch it for yourself. It's not even worth my time to go get the clips of this episode. Even I know Viacom will just take it down because Viacom's a piece of shit. But Sanjay and Craig trying to like their best friend barf, and yet they think it's not normal for a person not to barf. You know, it is normal. You know what's not normal? How about a blood-sucking vampire trying to end Christianity? How about a doctor who steals body parts from graves and basically puts them together to make one big monster? How about a man who was buried alive 2,000 years and comes back from the grave just to resurrect his dead princess? How about a man who turns into a werewolf in the full moon and he can't stop his urges of killing people as a werewolf? How about a man who made a potion that literally caused him to have another personality who rapes women? That's not normal. But you are not normal, Sanjay and Craig. No, you're the epitome of not normal. Oh, it gets even worse when you find out that it was a trend in the family. It was like a bloodline. Oh, kind of like it's the bloodline's job, and like, you know, with Roman Reigns and the Usos to, you know, have all the gold, you know? And we see that the father, nonetheless, eats a sandwich that was stepped on by Sanjay, which Sanjay stepped in dog shit, and he eats it. And then you get this gross abomination of a dog, which literally should be put down, literally put down, like I mean, put down. And then we get to the fact of what actually makes their friend barf. It's basically when he actually sees his ass, he barfs. You know, it's funny how in cartoons, and I mean cartoons for kids, and I mean literal fucking kids, literally show butts and don't censor them, when really we have to censor butts in commercials. that are supposed to be funny and censor the ones in the one of the Coffin Joe movies. I think it was called This Night I Will Possess Your Corpse, where he went to hell, and then there's like, I don't know if it's asses, genitalias, and you know if you actually watch the Coffin Joe series, or if you watch Cinemassacre's Monster Madness, you would know. But no, Sanjay and Craig literally show the picture of his goddamn ass, and at the end he starts puking, and that's the end of the episode. That's the end. That's the end. That's the fucking end. I don't know who made this, but you should be ashamed of yourself. Whoever made Pickle Peanut, you should be ashamed of yourself, especially for Disney. I don't know who in the right mind would ever do that for Disney. The theme song is not Disney-esque. The animation's not Disney. It's Pickle and Peanut certainly doesn't sound like Disney. Literally, this is the hype, the musical trend. Disney's great for its music, its animation, and its storytelling, especially in its TV shows. There's no excuse for Pickle and Peanut. There is no excuse for Sanjay and Craig. It's not a Nickelodeon short. It's a gross abomination that literally should be burned. Every single copy of Sanjay and Craig, especially any file, should be burned and deleted permanently. I don't care. It literally should not exist. It will never exist for me, and it's gonna haunt me till I die. It's gonna haunt me till I die. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to put down someone else. As a matter of fact, he's dead at this point. His name is Henry Totermo, and he died by basically, well, let's just face it, he was back in the Wild West. I found his grave. And I will not show it under respect if there is a family like that. And he died pretty much classic Wild West style. He did die of a duel. He just came back from the grave. The Revenants, you know. You know the Revenants and Vanguard Zombies. Yes, I know. They're going to pull a 180 on this. If you want me to talk about it, you could tell me in the comments. But I'm going to go put him down. I'll see you next time. Don't watch that episode. Goodbye.